Hello everyone. Today's topic is vernalization. What is vernalization? It refers to treating plant with low temperature. Why we have to treat a plant with low temperature? So that when some plants are treated with low temperature, you can induce them to flower earlier. That is the whole idea of vernalization. Therefore, vernalization can be defined as exposure of the plant to low temperature. That can be qualitatively as well as quantitatively. Qualitative refers to how much low temperature you are going to expose. Quantitative refers to for how much duration that particular temperature you are going to give that particular plant. That is qualitative and quantitatively. Exposing the plants to low temperature, which may be qualitative as well as quantitative, to induce flowering. Our ultimate aim is to get flower, because when flowers are formed after fertilization, you are going to get the fruit or seeds, or grain you are going to get. That is the whole idea of vernalization. If you consider plants, plants in their life cycle, they'll be having three stages: vegetative phase, reproductive phase, and a senescence phase. Vegetative phase, they will be growing vegetatively only. When they come to reproductive phase, they will produce flowers will be undergoing fertilization, then there will be formation of grains or fruit. Now, what is the benefit of vernalization? By doing vernalization or by subjecting the plant to cold temperature, you can shorten the vegetative period, which means plants vegetative period, when you shorten, they reach the reproductive period quickly. As a result, you are going to shorten their lifespan. That is the benefit of vernalization. How vernalization is done? Let us understand. Vernalization can be done at the seed stage. So for that, you have to take a seed, soak the seed in water. Remember, important thing, for dry seed we cannot do vernalization. Only seed when it is wet and germinated you can do vernalization. So seed, soak it in water. When you soak it in water, it will germinate. When there is germination, after germination you expose them to cold temperature of about 0 to 5 degrees Celsius for few weeks. That cold temperature, who will sense that cold temperature? Chillness is sensed by meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue refers to, it can be root tip, it can be shoot tip, it can be leaf tip. So any meristematic tissue will be sensing it. If it is a seed, embryonal tip of seed will be sensing the cold temperature. Then saw take such cold treated seed, sow them, you are going to get earlier flowering. So this is the whole technique. uh, Whether it is only the meristematic tissue which will respond to cold treatment, no, along with meristematic tissues there is an hypothetical hormone known as vernalin. It is said that vernalin also plays a vital role in vernalization. That is about the technique. Now let us take example of certain crops, how vernalization plays an vital role in their life cycle. Let us understand. If you consider plants like wheat, barley, and rye, I will be taking wheat as an example. There, they will be having two varieties in them. It is like a mother has two children who look similar, but their likings or their requirements are different. Like that, you can consider. Similarly, if you consider wheat, there are two variety. Both are wheat, only winter variety and spring variety, but their environmental requirements are different. What is that different environmental needs? Let us understand. Winter variety, if you take, winter variety always needs cold. Then only when they are exposed to cold only, they are going to produce wheat grains. Otherwise, they are not going to flower. Whereas spring variety, they don't need any cold treatment. Why? Because in winter variety, only when you subject them to cold, it will activate a gene known as VRN1 gene responsible for vernalization. Whereas in spring variety, that gene will be already active, hence you need not to treat them to cold condition. Now let us check their life cycle, when to plant the seed of winter variety and spring variety. For that, I have drawn a chart of seasons. First, let me start with this season, autumn. Winter is the season where there is chillness, hence I have written it as period of vernalization. Spring and summer, these are the periods with long days. Hence, a farmer who is taking winter variety seed, he must know that winter variety he can get the wheat grains only if he is exposing them to cold condition. If he is not exposing them to cold at the seed condition, or artificial, if he is not exposing, he must know that in the season there is a season which is having cold, so through that he has to grow. Hence winter variety is usually planted in the autumn, say about end of September or beginning of October. A farmer must, who's growing winter variety, has to sow the seed. And you know, when the in the autumn, when when he plants the seed, it will germinate to produce seedling will be having meristematic tissue. Now in the winter it has produced seedling. Winter will be having chill treatment, so seedling will be responding, it will be exposed to cold temperature. Vernalization is going on now, so vernalization will take place in the winter, it will be exposed to cold. Then comes the spring, in the spring it will grow further, resume growth. Then in summer would be able to harvest it, because in summer it will be producing grains, flowers and grains, since it has been exposed to cold temperature. So that knowledge of a particular farmer must have. Suppose if a farmer who is growing winter variety, if he to reduce the time, say in the beginning I said it has to be planted in autumn and harvested in summer, so that period is about 8 months it takes. So suppose a farmer thinks, I cannot grow them for 8 months, let me shorten the span. Hence he plants it in spring without treating them to cold. What happens if it is planted in spring without cold treatment? In summer it is not going to produce flower as well as fruits. Hence naturally, if you want to get, without any artificial vernalization, if you want to get seeds out of winter variety, sow them in autumn, they resume growth, there will be seedling in winter, vernalization will take place, they resume growth in spring, and summer you can harvest. Whereas spring variety, as the name indicates, spring, you plant them in spring, you don't need cold treatment, because as I said, they already have activated gene in them. Plant them in spring, harvest at the end of spring. Here if you plant here, after 4 months you can harvest them. That is that is about spring variety. Now the question is it possible to convert winter variety to spring variety? Yes, it is possible. How is it possible? A farmer who is growing winter variety, he has to expose that seed of winter variety to artificial cold temperature. Vernalization has to be done. Then if he plants over here, that is in spring, he can get harvest at the end of summer. So that's how, by treating the seed in cold temperature, winter variety can be converted into spring variety. Students often ask, why, if spring varieties are grown in 4 months, why people go for winter variety which takes 8 months? It is because of the yield. If you consider wheat in winter variety, if you consider the protein present in the wheat, gluten protein, in winter variety which is grown for 8 months, there will be more gluten, hence it can be used to make noodles and all. Whereas if you consider spring variety wheat which is obtained in 4 months, they have less gluten amount, so it is used to make the softer item like pastries and all. So that is the difference. Hence if you want hard wheat, you have to go for winter variety. And here we have understood how to convert winter variety to spring variety. Second example is biannuals. What are biannuals? These are the plants which takes 2 years to complete their life cycle. In the first year, they'll be growing vegetatively. Example for biennials: carrot, cabbage, sugar beet. Look at these plants. First year they grow vegetatively. Then what do you mean by vegetatively? If it is a rosette plant, they grow rosette in a rosette manner in the first year. Then in that year they will sense the cold temperature present in the environment in the particular cold season. When they are exposed to cold, there will be bolting. What is bolting? Rosette plant which was growing vegetatively, now because of the exposure to cold temperature, their stem will elongate. Hence one more question can be framed here: name the hormone which can replace the effect of vernalization. Bolting is performed by gibberellic acids, gibberellins. Hence, if you use gibberellin, you need not wait for cold here directly. Rosette plant, when you use gibberellin on rosette plant, they will bolt. That is one more question which can be framed. So, biannuals in the first year, they will be undergoing bolting. In the second year, they produce flower and fruit because they are exposed to cold temperature. Here, what is the benefit of vernalization? You know that they can produce fruit as well as flower only if they are exposed to cold. Hence, by treating the seeds of these plants artificially with cold temperature, that is by performing vernalization, you can make these biannuals to produce fruits and flowers within 1 year. How? Take the seeds of this plant, treat them in cold temperature, sow the seed. Within 1 year, flowers and fruits are formed, reducing the vegetative growth. As I mentioned earlier, vernalization reduces vegetative growth. So these are the two examples which is given in the NCERT which you have to remember. I hope you have liked it. Thank you.